Hello, and welcome to our Perfection in 1 Year run. And we are into the 6th week, I believe. So it's the second week of summertime. And so we'll do a quick recap of our overall summer goals, which is to finish the community center, get around 3,000 starfruit planted, begin our kegging procedure, fully set up our Ginger Island farm, and finish hopefully 9 or more farm or villager relationships. But for this particular week, we're going to focus on getting money for our first starfruit crop, because we really need to make that happen. And we also need to upgrade our coop, go to the luau this week, have our first major harvest of that starfruit crop, and then replant it again. Finish our community center, which is actually the biggest thing, and start our Ginger Island grind. So that's this week. And we pretty much need to make all this happen with no exception. Obviously I guess the luau is not entirely necessary, but it does help boost friendship, so that's why it's important. And so today is an easy one. We have a gift run, special order, a birthday, and we have a blueberry quest from the little tiny quest board. And then we'll hunt the ghosts for the special order, upgrade our coop, and prepare for hopefully a caverns day in the nearish future. And this is probably one of the more relaxed days of the week, just because it's a gifting day and those days are already kind of lost in a certain sense. It kind of feels like whenever I have a day where I have to gift people things, you just have to slot in whatever random activities you can to not make the day feel like a total waste of time. And that's kind of the driving force behind why I want to get more relationships finished, because then it's more time wasted, and once I'm done with gifting like Gus, for example, I never have to talk to him again. Once they're at max hearts, it doesn't degrade anymore, so that is pretty important to this run for efficiency's sake. Oh, and I guess we got our tea ceremony, or not tea ceremony, but tea bush recipe today, because we reached only 2 hearts with Caroline, which is kind of feels like we're lagging behind, but I don't think that's the case. But then as far as our special orders go, today we had an option of the ectoplasm quest or the juicy bugs quest, both of which are equally valuable, so it didn't really matter which one I picked. I ended up picking the ectoplasm one, but this is probably the biggest mistake I have made in this entire run, and I do not complete the ectoplasm quest. And I'm still not entirely sure if that's going to destroy the whole run, because I'm not completely finished with it yet. But it's very possible that this run is now dead. And that's just because I failed to complete that quest. I just forgot about it. And by the time I realized I forgot about it, it was too late. It was 3 weeks later. And so I wasn't going to replay 3 weeks. So technically there's still enough time to get that quest again, as long as my quest RNG is pretty good. But that was kind of a bummer when that happened. So I'm optimistic, but I'm not entirely optimistic. I know it might fail because of that. And that's one of the worst reasons to fail the run, in my opinion. It's not very, I don't know, it just sucks, I guess. If we fail because I forgot to kill a ghost, it's a huge bummer, especially if I did everything else right. If I fail because I'm short on money, or if I'm short on a recipe or something, at least that's a little bit easier to digest. But this is something that was so easily preventable. It's kind of hard to justify, so yeah. Anyway, we are upgrading our coop again, like I said, and that is just to get ducks and duck feathers and duck eggs, I guess, for shipping. I think mostly just shipping, and duck feathers for Leo because he loves duck feathers, and it's pretty easy to get high quality duck feathers, so that's the ideal there. And I don't know if I showed myself actually grabbing the blueberry quest, but the quest was to deliver a blueberry to Maru. And I'll usually do those little tiny bulletin board quests if they're really easy, but I won't go out of my way too much. I know it's probably in my best interest to always do them, but sometimes I just forget, or it doesn't fit in with the routing of the day. And yeah. I think... I think that was enough seeds. I might already have the rest of the seeds I need. But if not, I have a couple more days. I think I have until Thursday to get the starfruit seed money. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I did try for the ghost today, in fairness. But I don't know why I couldn't get it. And then after today, I just totally forgot about it. So we got a really good luck day today, so that means a Skull Caverns day. But we also have our winter foraging done inside of our greenhouse, which means we need to get a snow yam so we can complete the community center and then get some money. And man, our winter forage luck was not good. We only got one snow yam, so that also potentially could have been a pretty big interruption to this run. If we had not gotten a snow yam, I would have either had to restart, or I would have had to I don't even know, I guess I would have had to replant winter seeds and just hope that I got a yam again. So it would have put us behind potentially a week. And luckily that didn't happen, and so we ended up finishing our community center, and now we're totally done with that, and we're just waiting for the boat letter, and then we repair the boat, and then we'll get the boat cutscene, and then we can go to Ginger Island. And anybody who's super familiar with Stardew Valley and how cutscenes work will know right now that my timeline is setting me up for a pretty annoying situation. But if you're not, I guess just stay tuned for the next couple days and you'll see a bit of a frustrating event. At least in my opinion. It's not a huge deal, but it is obnoxious. But for now, this was a super reset heavy day. And that's just because I wanted to really make sure I got over 600 iridium, just for money's sake. I might as well have the best possible Skull Caverns run that I'm capable of. And so, I might as well restart until I get the one I'm happy with. And so that's what we did. We went down mostly with staircases, as well as some explosive ammo. And, it kind of went how you would expect a Skull Caverns run to go. There's nothing particularly crazy about it, but we ended up getting what we needed. And there's really just not a lot to say about the caverns. It's kind of your run-of-the-mill, run and shoot stuff as fast as you can. And that's it. There's nothing nuanced about it. I just try to go fast. Always go down. I've been watching some newer people that are newer to the game play, and something I notice a lot that they do is they just they won't put blinders on and just go down, which I think is the most important thing you can do in the caverns, is ignore everything else and just get down to I'd say floor 100, and then start focusing on the individual resources on every floor. Because if you spend time chasing after every iron or copper node on those early floors, you end up burning like tons of time, and all that time you could be getting iridium instead, which is insanely more valuable. At least for most people, depending on like what you're up to, I guess. And yeah, we barely got our 600 iridium goal, but I think after like 20 resets, I was pretty much just done with doing it. So that is why this was the run that made it. And then we had a little extra time to pick all of our summer forage and then replant it too. I figure I might as well keep trying to replant it since it only takes the 3 seeds and it will boost up my forage a little bit. And so we just did that until we passed out. I have a really bad habit of not letting myself pass out in Skull Caverns. I don't know why. I feel like I always have to go home. And that's not really the case. You don't have to do that, so yeah. Anyway, there's the quarry, which we will be using for our kegs. And it's just an easy spot to set up. We'll like bomb the whole thing, lay down some flooring, and put kegs up. And we'll have something around like 300 kegs, I think, fit over there. I don't remember the exact number, but today we did get our community center cutscene, which means we get the letter. And so we'll smelt a ton of iridium because we really need money. We'll do a gift run. We'll give Maru a gift for her birthday, which will actually get her pretty close to finished up. We'll start prepping that quarry I was just talking about. Buy a workbench because we need to think about crafting items soon. And I also got the golden scythe, and I don't know why, because there's no point. I don't believe it's required for perfection, and it is generally a waste of time. Unless it is required for perfection, which then I suppose good for me. Yeah. I also gave Lewis his shorts back. I'm doing like a lot of those quests because they award some friendship points and they're all pretty easy. Like giving Marnie Amaranth or a cave carrot or the shorts, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm just like basically I desperately need money right now for the starfruit seeds for tomorrow. So I'm just trying to get as much money as I can as quickly as I can. And I don't want to spend all of my money because I want to be able to afford the boat when I can actually go to Ginger Island. But you know, I need to plant my starfruit. If I don't plant that starfruit, we are going to be in a pretty big world of hurt. So there's also going to be a lot more of me chopping trees because of the need for kegs and because of how expensive wood is. So you'll see, I mean, occasionally you'll see me do it. I will probably edit almost all of it out because it's pretty boring. But yeah, I'll be chopping trees pretty consistently. As soon as trees are old enough to be chopped down, they'll get chopped down. As soon as like oak resin, man, what am I doing here? Why did I monster must up to get the golden scythe? And there's no good reason for it. I just wish I don't know what I was thinking. I could have been going for the ghost for ectoplasm. And I know like a little bit later on today, I go and I farm coal and iron because those two things are always a shortage for me, especially when explosive ammo is very demanding of iron and kegs are very demanding of iron. But I don't know why I would monster musk before this. I guess for that very slight chance of a magic rock candy. But I don't know. I guess you're basically just witnessing me make a mistake right now. Though I don't know if anybody here follows Concerned Ape on Twitter. He did recently mention that the iridium scythe will be added to the game, which is kind of nice. It gets a little bit obnoxious having all iridium tools and just a golden scythe, so that'll be nice. But yeah, just farm some sprites to end the day. Had I just killed a few more ghosts I would have completed that quest, but I just didn't do it. So, kind of kicking myself for that. But I think we're gonna be okay. Like, the more I think about it, there's only so many quests, and I think we're good. So anyway, there's a ghost, and I just didn't kill it. Oh, it's annoying. Anyway, we sold a little bit more iridium today, and we ended up making a decent amount. So about, almost 70 grand, 69,000, which is cool. And that means during the luau today, we'll be able to run down and get a few more seeds that we need. I think we're a tiny bit short. And I don't know, a lot of people think that Sandy's shop is closed today because it's a holiday. But Sandy doesn't close during holidays, or at least this particular one. So you can buy DSG and Starfruit at Sandy's shop. And yeah, so today's our big harvest day, which means we really need to replant, and we really need those seeds, and we have to go to the luau event, which I mentioned is just for the hearts. We also need to harvest more oak resin and start smelting more iron and copper to make kegs. Kegs, like I know I mentioned this last episode, but we are very behind on oak resin. For some reason, I was under the impression that a higher foraging level was required to make the tree fertilizer, and so I didn't even pursue it. So that put us in like a pretty bad spot, where now we have trees that aren't fully matured, trees that don't have tappers. Everything's kind of like on a different day to harvest, and it's just kind of goofy. So we're a bit behind there. I think we can make up for it still with radioactive harvesting, or radioactive ore farming rather. And yeah, hopefully that's the case. But yeah, that's it. We go to the luau today, and we cannot repair the boat today because it's a holiday, which is already, we're off to a bad start with that. Because we couldn't get into Willie's shop, obviously, because it's at the beach. And so that puts us a day behind because of that, which isn't that big of a deal. But as of now, if we can repair the boat first thing tomorrow and then sleep, that means we should get the cutscene overnight of the boat being repaired on the 12th. But on the 12th, going into 13th, it's also going to rain, so that'll bring up additional problems. So we got problems coming up, and I'll go into it a little bit more. But for now, we're just kind of kicking it at the luau for the extra friendship points. I think this event, I don't know if it's in my best interest to skip this event or not. To me, it felt worth it, just to avoid gifting a few more days, But I don't know, somebody else might disagree quite a bit, and that's okay. So, anyway, the rest of this day is just getting keg stuff ready, and I wanted to kind of give a glimpse at some of my chest progress and how my chests were organized, and just generally what I'm up to on the times when I normally cut it out. You know what I mean? So while it's not particularly interesting, it is, part of the run, right? There are boring parts of the run that need to be done, but I just don't normally show too much. And for right now, I don't know why I elected to just set up some of the keg stuff now, since I've already prepped the quarry. I probably just forgot that I'd already prepped the quarry a little bit. So I just set the stuff up here to be done with it. That, or to make it a little bit easier to smelt and process simultaneously. It's kind of hard to tell what I was thinking, but whatever. And we're already out of iron pretty much, which is a huge bummer. So we'll have to start really, really getting after that. We need we need so many kegs. is if we want to process 3,000 starfruit, just as a reference point, and we started in fall, that's 8 weeks, right? And it takes a week. We have 8 weeks to do it. It takes a week to process the wine. So that means we need like 375 kegs. And that is not looking so good right now. I mean, I know we're kegging a little bit earlier than that, but I don't know, we're behind schedule, and it's starting to worry me a little bit more each run. But I don't know, we'll see how we are. But anyway, we're into the 12th day, and the only real important thing we have to do today is fix the boat. That's a pretty massive event, right? Because we need to get to Ginger Island very, very soon so we can get more starfruit going on that island and just get all the first stage Ginger Island stuff done. So we're going to repair the boat, make some more kegs. We're going to buy the summer seeds. And we're also actually doing the Wizard Ink quests, which isn't fully necessary right now, but we have to do it eventually to get, the obelisks built. And we also get the wrong cutscene. So I guess we'll touch on that while I kind of do some of the boring stuff. Basically, the game will only allow one overnight cutscene to happen, right? So normally tonight I would just have the Ginger Island cutscene, right? Because I repaired the boat. But because the community center is done and the 13th is always a lightning storm, that means that the broken down community center will get struck by lightning and open up the missing bundle quest. And that cutscene takes priority over the Ginger Island quest. Or not quest, sorry, cutscene. So, I might have said quest a bunch, but I meant cutscene. But that takes priority over the Ginger Island cutscene. So that means the Ginger Island cutscene just doesn't happen. And when the cutscene doesn't happen, that means the boat just doesn't get repaired. And you have to wait another entire day to go to Ginger Island, which I was incredibly bummed about because I didn't realize that could even happen. I thought maybe the cutscene just wouldn't happen and I could still go, but it just wasn't that way. So that was a pretty big wrench, I would say. It wasn't like, it's not game breaking again, but we've already lost a day from the luau. So now we're losing 2 days. And it's just a little bit of a setback. Still not as bad as the ghost thing, but definitely a setback. And something I probably could have avoided had I... Well, maybe not. I mean, this might have been unavoidable just because of how the timeline worked out. Had the crop fairy been 1 day earlier, then I could have avoided it. Or 1 day later, I guess. Well, no, 1 day later wouldn't have helped. It would have been the same situation. But 1 day earlier, that'd be the only way I could have avoided this. That or getting a winter route on the traveling cart, which I did not get, so... Yeah, anyway, we're just taking care of the wizard quest today. I'm fishing for a void mayonnaise, which if you didn't know, you can fish up right here specifically for this quest. I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense. We need fish from here anyway, so it's kind of worth it. But yeah, if you're ever doing this quest and you're thinking that you have to go get a void egg, hatch a void chicken, or no, I guess you just need the void egg from Krobus, and then process it, you don't. You can just fish it up. And so that's what we're doing. And so we'll get this done. And that will, I don't know, this is also not a good use of time. I'm doing things I should not be doing. Right now I could be farming for iron. And farming for iron would have been a lot more valuable. Or I could be planting more acorns and fertilizing them. or making more tappers, or making more kegs. There's a lot of things I could have and should have been doing, but I just didn't. And so in my inventory right now, you're seeing basically everything I'm bringing to Ginger Island. And I'm still prepping because I think I'm going tomorrow. And so I'm bringing all the gems for the gem birds. I'm bringing a chest. I'm bringing seeds, sprinklers, a fence post, or a couple fence posts to do that quest, or not the quest, but the walnut where you have to pour water on the little mole worm thing. And yeah, I just think I'm going, and I'm not. It's very sad. But that's what I'm doing, just kind of prepping. I like to have everything like ready in advance, so in the morning I could just grab the chest and go. But instead, tomorrow we'll just have to do something else. It's such a bummer. I was so bummed. And there's another winter route, I guess. Not helpful now, but at least we got another one. And apparently an achievement for artisan, so not particularly useful. But I guess we have to do it eventually. We'll eventually get every achievement for the most part. But here's that cutscene. Yeah. I can't believe like this cost me a day. One bolt of lightning. In bad timing. So, yeah. So obviously, you know, I sold a bunch of stuff so I could afford my ticket to Ginger Island. And I sold a bunch of other random things for completion percentage. I will get further into the percentages probably at the end of summer or early fall. And I'll actually put up statistics and like percentages of how far I am into perfection, what's left to do, what I plan on doing for each category, and doing a little bit more breakdown. But I just haven't started logging those stats yet. Like I think right now my perfection percentage is like 4% or something obscenely low because I haven't really cooked, I haven't really crafted, and so it's just not worth really looking at. And what I end up doing today is like a pretty scuffed Skull Caverns run, honestly. Like I don't have any slingshot ammo aside from 25. I don't have very many bombs. I don't have very many staircases. The only thing I have on my side is luck, which I would have much preferred having on Ginger Island. So, yeah. I mean, I got down as far as I could to get as much iridium as I could, obviously. But, you know, it wasn't ultimately what I wanted to be doing today. And I was not going to restart this run. There's no chance. At this point, if I fail, I fail. And if I succeed, I succeed. You know, there's no going back and there's no starting over. But I don't know, I guess I made it decently far considering the circumstances. I didn't get as much iridium as I probably could have, but I had pretty decent shaft luck. And, you know, it worked out. I got enough iron to kind of fuel a few more kegs and a little bit more explosive ammo next time I decide to go back to the caverns. Money will be, you know, obviously an ongoing problem because I always need to buy starfruit. I always need to buy obelisks in the clock and all that stuff. So there will always be a day I need to go down here. And it'll probably be like once or twice a week because I won't really be selling any wine ever, at least until like the end of fall. And once I can sell wine, money won't be too much of a problem, but you know, as of now, we still have the agriculturalist perfection, which means our crops grow faster and our artisan goods are not worth as much. So, you know, we have to wait to actually start making good money from anything but Skull Caverns. And I guess radioactive ore. Once, what's it called? Once the quest unlocks. But that won't be for a little while. But today is obviously the day I keep saying obviously. This is driving me crazy. I'm sure it's driving you crazy. Today is the day we actually go to Ginger Island. And after we plant our greenhouse to burn time before Willie's shop opens, our main goal is just to get as many walnuts as possible. We need to unlock the farm, we need to finish the volcano, we need to pop a rain totem to do the mermaid stuff tomorrow, and we need to plant basically as many crops as we can on Ginger Island so that we can harvest them as soon as possible to get the walnuts from Ginger Island. And if you're not particularly familiar with Ginger Island, you get a set amount of walnuts from certain activities in the farm, or on the island, I mean. So you'll get a certain amount from killing enemies, an amount from harvesting crops, an amount from breaking rocks, the mussel rocks on the beach, etc. So I'm trying to like increase my chances of getting those walnuts quickly by planting as many fast crops as possible early. And yeah, that's it. Nothing, no crazy strategy there. I don't have any like, god tier strategies. Oh my goodness, strategies. Jeez, strategies for Ginger Island. I'm tired today. I don't know why. I slept so bad. There was a lot of hail. But anyway, I don't have any good strategies for Ginger Island. I follow a very loose sprint towards walnuts, and that's pretty much it. I try to make the day as efficient as possible, but there's not anything like special or unique that I do that anybody else wouldn't do. Like, I do all the typical stuff, like I will manipulate the artifact spots to make sure I get snake spines. Once I unlock that part of the farm, I'll, do the memory game trick. I'll do the predictor gem bird thing. And I guess I could go over that in more detail because I'm going to show all of it. But the gem birds you can look up in the Mousy Pounds predictor. That way you know which gem to put where, and you can just finish that 5 golden walnut quest right away. So I always do that. And I always hoe up all of the artifacts, or the walnuts from the little hidden locations. Usually, I think I remember to get all of them this time. On my last run, I didn't remember all of them, which was kind of annoying. It makes it really annoying to find them later on. But I think this time around, I made sure to do a bit better of a job at it. Because I'm taking this run much more seriously than I was my 2-year perfection run. But I guess this is like the route I always take. So I monster musked in this instance because I really need to kill a ton of those magma sprites. Or spirits, I can't remember what they're called. That'll be a big part of the Monster Slayer goal that takes the longest. So pretty much every time I come into the volcano, I need to be using Monster Musk. I also really need Dragon Teeth. And so anything I can do to get more Dragon Teeth, I will do. Oh, you know what? I skipped all of the caverns. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I did. I skipped all the volcano mines up until level 9. I only got the 1 Dragon Tooth. It was a pretty boring run. I think that's why I skipped it, but the only thing I really need is the coffee ring, I guess, which would be nice, but I don't even need it. And I need mango saplings, which I did not get in this run, so that's probably why I left out nearly all of the volcano. And then I always combine my rings right away and start enchanting my tools. I'm looking for shaving for the axe because I need a lot of wood. I'm looking for powerful for the pickaxe so that I can break rocks easier, basically. And I will be making my galaxy hammer into an infinity gavel so I can pretty much like one-shot everything later on in the game. I don't really need bottomless for the watering can, though I may get it at one point. And then I guess I could do generous on the hoe or the artifact one. I don't really care about that one either. And then, fishing pole. I guess I don't care about that one either. So, yeah. And then we bomb the farm. It's a waste of time to chop everything down. Bomb the mussel rocks, which didn't yield a single walnut, which is pretty bad luck. And then we hunt down, hopefully, the remainder of the nuts that are like basically hidden in plain sight. I don't know if I got them all. I probably missed a few here and there. Like, I already know I missed one on that ledge. And I think I missed one. I missed the memory puzzle. I mean, it's not like it's our only day here, and we'll have enough nuts. I think we have enough nuts now to unlock the farm. And that's all that really matters, so we can sleep here. And then tomorrow I'll iron out more of the easy nuts. And so, yeah. The rest of our night will be spent planting. Our priority plants are a melon, garlic, and wheat, so we can finish the gourmand quest and get the walnuts from that. And the next priority is parsnips and any other crops we need for cooking, kind of. And so that's what we're doing. The gourmand quests give you an insane amount of walnuts. I think it's like 15 walnuts just from planting that. Or just from showing him, like, the crops he requests. And planting all that extra wheat was a mistake. Because as far as I'm aware, you cannot get walnuts from scythed crops. This may have changed, but it used to be the case. Where you can't get, you just can't get walnuts from scythed crops, so there's no reason to plant them here. I don't need wheat at all. I do need better inventory management. But that's, I guess, my own problem. That chest is fine being there overnight, but I just get really paranoid that the chests are going to end up disappearing for some random reason. So, I'm basically like frantically trying to like drop stuff so I can grab my chest, even though it just really isn't necessary. Like, this is a lot of time spent that I like threw away wood. What am I thinking? Anyway, don't do that if you try this. Anyway, the week overall was pretty successful. We got the most important stuff done, which was going to Ginger Island, getting set up, and getting the community center completed. That was what I was most worried about. We got our starfruit crop planted, and we're in good shape as far as that goes. So I will see you next time.